Hello, hi Robin, hi Ruby.
Hi, Wasif, how are you?
Hey Wasif, how are you? Hi Ruby.
Hi, it's nice to meet you, or e-meet you.
Same here, Ruby. Likewise.
We'll give the hackers a couple more minutes to join, and if not, Robin, would you be happy to still give a speech and kind of run down about your thoughts on FutureHack to then be sent into the Discord as a recording?
Sure, can do that.
Brilliant, thank you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon.
Hey,
Hi Gitesh.
hey, can you guys hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, yes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Krishna. Yes, we can hear you, just to let you know.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so hi guys, this is our third and final webinar for FutureHack. We're very, very pleased to have a subject matter expert to talk to you guys about FutureHack. We have Robin Joseph, who's project manager of cards, and we have Gitesh Arjawal. He is the assistant vice president for card operations and fraud management. We're very excited to hear their thoughts on FutureHack and what you hackers can get up to. And with that, I'll hand you over to them.
Thank you for having us. Thanks Ruby for the quick intro. So I'll just give a brief about myself a little more, and so is my colleague Gitesh as well, and then we can kind of kickstart this with our thoughts around the current landscape and what are the macro trends that we find is relevant in today's world, and looking beyond in the next 5 to 10 years, what are those key things that we see as a macro trend evolving in this payment space. So again, my name is Robin. I've pretty much been a banker all my life, but most part of it, a decade plus, has been in cards and payments. I've done multiple roles within the cards landscape, from service operations projects, and currently I manage the bank card products partnerships and VAS for Emirates NBD. Yeah, that's a quick intro on myself. Gitesh, you wanna just give a quick brief?
So hi everyone, this is Gitesh here. Thanks Robin for introducing that. So basically, a quick intro about me. I manage. I'm a new joinee in the UAE market. Joined in Emirates NBD a couple of months back. I managed the entire card operations and fraud management piece, but not new to the industry. I have almost 14 years of experience in the credit card industry. In past, I was with Citibank India. I was managing the operations and then the product and the portfolio piece, and also manage the digital payments aspect. Uh, so quite, I mean, have some bit of an experience. It's a great opportunity to kind of interact with the group of enthusiasts, and let's see how can we help in terms of giving some bit of our perspective on how the payments is kind of evolving, and the way we would kind of want to structure it, like keep it more conversational, rather than kind of boring you with some bit of numbers or some bit of facts, which I think everybody is kind of aware of, because digital payments or payments is the talk of the town. That's where the entire human race is kind of evolving to. So yeah, that would be my thought process. Should we then? I'll just give a overview of the landscape and kind of some of the key opportunities that we see, and then we can open the floor, and Robin, you can add. So just anecdotally, if I say, humankind took almost 9,005 years to reach to paper money, but from there the journey has been very smooth, and especially the last 60 years, if we see 50 to 60 years, we've seen a very unprecedented growth in terms of when it comes to the digital payments. So from bartering oranges or barley for the payment transactions, to now digital wallets or using QR codes, we have evolved over and over the period. And today, when we see that we have wide variety of payment options, that has gone through a great process of evolution and transformation. Just to set some context, today you can text to make a payment for a bus transactions, or you can pay for a grocery through a QR code, or you can tap on a POS terminal for any of these transactions. All this has become possibility today, and this just I would say it's just the start of a journey, and there are tremendous opportunities which are kind of opening up. COVID has just helped accelerate some of this particular piece, but we had started seeing this adoption from the customers in recent times. Just to throw some numbers, in 2020 we saw the digital payments kind of clocking at 1 trillion transactions, and now that is expected to grow to almost 3 trillion transactions in 2030, which is humongous. As in, if I look from a just from a growth perspective, it is 3x of the volume in next 1 year, in next decade that we are seeing. So that I think talks in the way the entire industry is evolving. If we look closely in some of the markets, Asia Pacific, for example, is kind of driving a lot of this particular growth. India, from where I have kind of worked mostly in my professional career, UPI, which was launched in 2017, it has now grown with such leaps and bounds that now we are clocking almost 6 billion transactions per month, with a vision of clocking 1 billion transactions per day. Just imagine the kind of power that evolution has, the technology has brought, that we are thinking about clocking 1 billion transactions per day, and that will then formulate almost like 10-15% of the global transactions. So all this is getting driven through enriching customer experience. So that's where the entire ecosystem is moving. Now, customer is not the king, but the customer experience is the king. So this brings to the fact that there are more opportunities which are coming into this particular market, which will then determine how we will move forward. So some of the opportunities that which we see and which we talk about, I'll just name. I'll not go in much detail, but those are some of the food points or uh, uh, points I want to leave to the group to kind of evaluate. Like, for example, the opportunities that we see is digital wallets, then open banking, which kind of opens up the whole new ball game for the entire ecosystem to get involved and kind of grow. Digital currencies and cryptos is another good player which will then evolve and kind of move forward in the payment industry. Apart from that, super apps will play a very important role. Buy now, pay later is another use case which will kind of determine, because the way the credit requirement of the customers are evolving, BNPL kind of resonates with the majority of the crowd, which is the millennials and the Gen Z. So I think that is something that will kind of drive a lot. Last but not the least, metaverse is another thing which I think is a little far ahead, but still will play a very important role down the line. So I think these are some of the items which I wanted to kind of leave a thought with. That these are some of the items which or the areas which are evolving. But as in, with that, I'll kind of stop here. And Robin, if you want to add something, and then probably we can open the floor for the hackers to kind of understand if they have anything specific in their mind which they want to check with us.
Thanks, Isha. I think you've covered very comprehensively on what those macroeconomic trends, which potentially, or we all know, is gonna kind of take the pie from our traditional banking that we do and the traditional card payment that we do. And just to add on to that, I mean, specific to this hackathon, if I can draw my attention to open banking and specifically open loop payments. I mean, if I can call it that way. I mean, if what would be a trend setter, or what banks are trying, or forget banks, fintechs, or third party tech giants are trying to do is trying to come up with an open loop payment wherein today, I mean, if you look at an experience from a consumer perspective, we have multiple standalone apps on our phones, right? Let's because we are talking digital, I'm just focusing on the most amount of time spent on smartphone, etc. And we have for every bit of aggregator, or I wouldn't say, or a service provider. For example, if I have to do a transit, there's an app for transit. If I have to do a shopping, there's a particular app for shopping which gives a loyalty rewards on shopping per se. So I think we are still in a phase where we are trying to get that sweet spot of an open loop payment wherein there is just one central kind of a solution for a consumer, and irrespective of which platform he has to pay or earn rewards or go, it's all in one place rather than have multiple apps and platforms that he has to today. I mean, that's where we are today. So I think that will play a very significant role in terms of defining which player is that who's going to capture the customer's entire wallet share, right? I mean, there is this one. If there is one player who's able to crack that seamlessly, that's going to be a big game changer, I feel. And this market, I mean, if I can focus on UAE market per se, I mean, as most of you would be aware, we have the one of the largest penetration when it comes to smartphone users. So I think this market would be one of the best markets to kind of implement, or if there's a player who's willing to do that, that could be a game changer. And banks, the challenges for banks is obviously we may not have the bandwidth to kind of venture into so many things. So which is where open banking comes into picture a lot more, wherein we can just simply have the fintechs kind of develop those solutions, and we are able to incorporate that. Yeah, rather than if we as a traditional bank go through the journey, I think it's going to be a long time till we kind of are able to kind of go to market. So open banking, I think, is a phenomenal way wherein we the playing field is opened up to all the parties who can see value and give value to customers, and the banks can quickly adapt to it by consuming those. So there are two ways that the banks can kind of be a forefront player in this. One is either uh, you know do a merger with these solutions through the open banking, or acquire them, right? I mean, or in a way, what I'm trying to say is, if we have to be in the race as a payment service provider, we either have to innovate faster, or we have to tie up and acquire people who are innovating, or have the potential of giving such solutions, kind of thing. So that is these are the two things which I feel are are big areas that we have to look out for: the open loop payments, and through the open banking APIs and stuff. So yeah.
I think just to add to what Robin said, and so Emirates NBD has always been a front runner when it comes to innovation. We have been pioneer in many of these things in the market, be it mobile banking, or be it our neo bank, or be it the adoption to tokenization transactions like Apple Pays and all. So we are kind of innovating, and I think this is one of the great opportunity where we wanted to kind of get brains around the globe to kind of see if they can provide us some solution which we can probably adopt. Uh, just riding on the point of open APIs, recently we kind of opened up our sandbox, or the portal for which has the largest amount of open APIs which can be consumed by the fintechs, and it's among the largest in the, if I see in the entire region. So I think that kind of shows the intent of the bank to kind of innovate and kind of be open to the new changes which is kind of driving the payment industry. So with that, I think we will open the floor. If there's anything somebody wants to check with us, then we can.
Thank you, guys. I have a question. We've been so I'm part of a group called Azim Finance, where we're basically focusing on building solutions for seamless payment, and we are planning on actually building a solution that will actually bridge the gap between the transition from fiat currencies to cryptocurrencies. What I mean by that is, imagine you have a financial app where you create an account with Open Emirates MBD, and then you get a specific card that you can add on your Apple Wallet or Google Pay, and then you can use it for payments. Not specific. You don't have to just add it to your Google Wallet or your Apple Wallet, but you can also use QR codes and various other ways of making payments. It could be between your friends. It could be it could be B2C. It could be used for multiple different use cases. The idea is to kind of basically promote users using this platform. But what I mean by saying that is, we want to help users accumulate points based on their transactions, like smile points. You can think of smile points, but we are actually thinking from a cryptocurrency perspective. So you accumulate points and you get cryptocurrency coins based on it. And then why we are pursuing a platform that rewards you in cryptocurrency is because, one, of course, like you said, cryptocurrency is the future, and a lot of banks are embracing it, and they are planning on working on solutions that will accommodate cryptocurrency. Two, there are certain, I would say, I still believe, at least in the region, I still believe there are certain shortcomings when it comes to fiat currency transactions, in terms of, like, sending or and the fees. And I mean, yeah, within the region, sure, it's negligible, and the fees or the time to which you can, like, send currencies. But, like, uh, you do understand one of the concepts of cryptocurrencies to enable users to transfer between different countries, and with negligible costs. So we believe that there are certain things that cryptocurrencies can address that gap, that shortcoming, and so that's why we want to help the users kind of slowly get into the cryptocurrency. You could say cryptocurrency way of transacting, and of course, there's also a far more secure method as well, and that's what we're going to do right now. So I would like to understand, like, um, Jitesh, yes, you yourself said that cryptocurrency is something that MSMBD is looking into. What kind of what kind of plans do you have in place to accommodate this not exactly our idea, maybe something along the same lines as our idea, but like start including cryptocurrencies into MSMBD?
Sorry if I think the point that you're trying to make or you wanted to understand was that whether Emirates MBD per se is kind of interested into cryptocurrency.
Yes, and like, do you what's like the structure you have in place? If you are, what are the structures you have in place to like start enabling hackers like us to like start maybe working towards it, like a framework? We can think of it, as a framework
Currently,
to work.
I think you misheard me. While the reason I mentioned digital currency was that it's one of the payment opportunities which will help evolve over the period. Emirates NBD per se, we don't have any immediate plans. While we allow the crypto transactions and all through our credit cards or debit card, but we don't have any immediate plan as of now. That's still under works and we are evaluating it. So we don't have any framework per se as such, but we once it gets evolved, we would one of the be we would be definitely be open to kind of evaluate it. But I think we are looking at little cautiously in that sense because of the entire
Market.
I would say stigma around this, where there has been some bit of an adoption, but I think overall our consumers are kind of looking at a more regulatory framework cryptocurrency. So once I think that kind of comes, then we will definitely be evaluating it. As of now, we don't have any immediate plans around that. So sorry, but we don't have any framework as such that we can probably disclose, but we are looking at it with an open mind.
Yeah, it's perfectly understandable. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
so
Yeah.
Krishna, just to add to, I mean, not to add much on what Gitesh has said. Are we interested as a bank in the space? Yes, there's definite uh, uh, interest in terms of us evaluating the space. So there are discussions, there are plans. But however, having said that, there's nothing in place that is concretely which can be uh, kind of disclosed. But definitely there is, the space is something which we are also keenly watching. And as and when the regulatory frameworks are a little more clearer, because the challenge is we are a financial institution. So unlike a fintech or a firm which is trying to disrupt the traditional way of banking. I mean, that is not where we stand. That is the reason why there is a little bit of cautious approach when it comes to the space. Not because of lack of interest, not because of lack of opportunities or the potential opportunities that we see. It's a great space, and there is definitely a lot that can come through from the space. And we are definitely evaluating that in that scheme of things, as and when, and as we keep getting clearer framework, regulatory approvals, etc. Rest assured, Emirates NBD also will be one. I mean, like Geeta said, we've always been in this specific, at least in this region, we've been the go-to bank in terms of anything which is to do with innovation and to deliver to market first. So we will be in that running in that space as well. That I can assure you. However, we await to see how things pan out in terms of regulations and the frameworks, etc.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robin. That's all the questions I had for the time being. We're still working on the business model and stuff, and yeah, we're excited to show it to you on Hack Day. But yeah, that's all the questions I have for now.
Excellent. So if I can just understand, I mean, because you're one of the participants and you're going to be showcasing your solution on the hack day, uh, is this an integration with the bank or is it a standalone solution that you're going to be developing, which is independent, and then you're going to gather users to come into? How do you plan to do that? How is your uh, thing going to be to go to market on what is your pitch going to be to go to market?
That's actually a great question. And to be fair, we are still kind of like in a dilemma. You can say like we are still considering because we want to work with the Emirates MBD, all the APIs, and we want to test with the Emirates MBD users. But uh, this is at the moment, in all honesty, we are still discussing this, and we haven't finalized on how we're going to approach this problem. But most probably, I think we'll at least start off by at least while pitching on the hack day. And there's a good chance that we'll work with Connect using Emirates MBD bank open banking APIs and help users like retrieve their account details and stuff, and basically help them like see what transaction they make and build a kind of a seamless payment feature on top of that. But at the same time, kind of like help them understand that they'll be rewarded on their healthy spending. I don't want to don't want to give out too much because one, we need to polish a little bit, but two, we still are deciding what a few features here and there. But yeah, we want to promote healthy spending and like reward them based on that. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we're trying to bridge the gap between conventional fiat currency transactions to cryptocurrency transactions as well. But I know I'm just beating on the bush, having a really specific answer, but I think we'll get to know soon if we are planning on using it as a standalone product or an assembly product. Yeah.
Excellent. That's good. Wish you all the best, Krishna.
Thank you.
I have a question, Gitesh and Robin, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah. So just to give a brief context, so one of the things that people who have been to India and travel outside now experiences this how seamless payments are in India, thanks to UPI, as Gitesh was describing, and also the startups who are operating this space. And as soon as you go out, you can see the friction straight away, wherein either you have to use cards or some online transaction or whatever. So since we are in the UAE, for what sort of solutions that you think hackers or startups can focus on to make payments as seamless as UPI is, given that there's no government-backed payment strategy here, since UPI in India is backed by the government. But still, in India, you had private players like Bharat Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, all of these guys doing all that. So if you can provide some inputs on what people can do in the space in the UAE, especially.
So Asif, I think I'll take a shot at it, and then Robin, you can add. So Asif, first of all, UPI was a success because of the whole customer experience and the superior customer experience, right? So in India also, if you see, the UPI is very concentrated amongst 2-3 partners: Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytms, and there are a couple of players who kind of contributes to 75 to 80%. So it goes back to my point that customer experience is the king now, because their entire journey, if you see, has been very, very seamless in terms of and kind of ensuring that the transaction goes through in with minimal clicks, right? So that particular experience has to be replicated or similar experience or improve that experience, and that experience will help lead the adoption. Coming to the other point, which I was saying, that that particular success story has been very has been adopted by a lot of other players. Other markets are kind of also exploring. UAE specifically is kind of looking forward and actively working on implementing something very similar to UPI, which is called NPSS. ENBD is again a pilot bank in that. We would be one of the first banks to kind of launch that. While it will be a third party, or I'm not spilling the beans because some of these things is little confidential, but that is being worked upon, which will then give a very equivalent kind of a solution for the customers to kind of do the transaction. But apart from that, also, if you see, this particular market has a lot of benefit, and as Robin had briefly mentioned, that because of the entire mobile penetration here if you see 98 to 99% of your the entire population is very mobile active, which in itself is a very great opportunity for us for any of the bank or the fintechs to provide the seamless experience. Open APIs and all this particular piece will just help in kind of if providing a very seamless payment solution. Apple Pay, if you see for an example, the way Apple has kind of captured the market, you would see 50% of the transactions, face-to-face transactions, are happening through tokenization. So that is very seamless. So just building on that particular experience will definitely help the adoption, and some bit of work is being done by the regulators to kind of replicate or energize or exemplify the success story in some other markets like UPI in India. So that's what would be my input here.
Thank you. Thanks, Gitesh.
I think Gitesh added relevant points over there. I mean, I think one of the reasons why I feel here the UPI payments has not kicked off so far. I mean, obviously it's in works. It could be uh, because of the scale, right? I mean, in India, I mean, the banks could still survive with the payments landscape could still survive even if the UPIs are there without. I mean, there's no scheme involved over there, and it's a direct debit to the account. Probably that could be one of the reason I would feel why because this being a very small concentrated market, and the players are the bank when you say banks, we have the payment, the cards business also as part of all the banks landscape. So that could be one of the reasons. But to add to what is happening in India, I think if I'm not wrong, while UPIs were direct debit to accounts, now they're exploring even credit cards to be part of UPI, right? So that gives in. I think that is a positive move which is happening in India, wherein even the payments business is in play in terms of the transaction cycle in a UPI, right? So that could potentially be one of the accelerator here. I mean, if we are to kind of get the regulators and the central bank to kind of all the banks come together and saying that we all have a level playing field, in end of the day, it's the most convenient way for a customer to transact, right? I mean, you don't have a pos machine, you don't have hardware. I mean, it's just a QR code, and you get going. So I guess that would uh, uh, be an accelerant if we kind of enable credit cards also as part of the UPI ecosystem over here.
Thanks, Robin. That's very helpful. I think one of the key takeaways is to focus on the customer experience, as mentioned by Gitesh, and make it as seamless as possible, because that's what drives payments and has been successful in India so far. So, thank you.
Okay, I think that wraps up our session. Thank you guys so much. It was very informative, and thank you for your questions, Krishna, and to Wasif for your questions. If that's everything, I think I'll wrap up the webinar.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much for your
Thanks for
time.
having us. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.